What up though? It's DJ Smithsonian and you're now tuning in to another episode of The Library.
Man, my topic of talking those to keep it hooked like dope. Turn the ship so hard it needs censorship. Damn, God, you're killing me.
Brought to you by the Appraise The Phrase podcast and Rap Geo, the Hip Hop Map Project. Here we have discussions about how hip hop has a great relationship with language, how hip hop modifies language, and how hip hop creates its own language. And today, we're going to talk about the bars, we've talked about beats, we've broken down some of the things in Clouseau's quotables, but today we're going to straight up be talking about bars. And I want to talk about a very interesting phenomena that we see sometimes, but when we see it, like, it's really popular. And we're going to call this episode the spelling bee.
Man, my topic of talking those to keep it hooked like dope. Turn the ship so hard it needs.
So, what do I mean by spelling bee? Have you ever had a song where the MC spells out a word or series of words in the middle of the verse? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I've got 4 songs that are some of my favorites where the MCs have spelled out words, pieces of the songs or whatever, and some of these spellings are now ubiquitous. So as a DJ, these are some of the favorite parts that I like to play because you could just mute out the gain of the track and people will sing along with the spelling. It's phenomenal. Everybody remembers your ABCs, everybody remembers spelling bees. Like, it's really easy to remember words. Like, we all kind of wired that way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You might wonder what all this stuff is here. If this is not your first time tuning in, you know that my wife and her sister, they've got this thing going on called Got Music. She makes earrings using reclaimed records, some of the records that I have that aren't playable, and some of the records that she goes out and buys herself. And she's also got like Christmas shirts with Ice Cube on it, saying that they do it for the host. I'll find a way, maybe we'll put it in like the comment section for where to get it, where to cop it. But yeah, it's very cool stuff going on. So the first song that I'm gonna mention is probably the first song that a lot of you are gonna think about when I talk about like where has an MC spelled something out, and that is nothing but I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D-E-N-T. Do you know what that means? Talking about Webbie's Independent, which was released in 2007, which is still a club classic to this day. Play this song right now at my grandmother's party and somebody's gonna get up and dance. What you may or may not know, depending on how you listen to Webbie, if you're a fan, if you're a deep cut fan, this was not the first time that Webbie spelled out independent. The bar actually came 3 years earlier on the song that he had featuring Trina called Bad Bitch. And in this song, like, he spells out independent when he's talking about his ideal woman, and they sampled that piece of the bar to make independent. And then he goes in, delves further about what kind of woman lady that he's looking for. So that is still, like I say, to this day, a street classic. You could play it in the club right now and it will go crazy. I actually just did a Christmas playlist for some friends of mine because they got a party coming up and I put this song on it. So if you don't trust me, play it and then trust your friends when they start dancing to it. The second one that I'm gonna talk about, which you may or may not know of, depending on how old you are, because this was one of those like Southern cuts that was very popular at one point in time, but unfortunately the artist never really made mainstream success after that. Not saying that he hasn't been successful, but we just did not hear from him nationwide after this song. Talking about a song called Left, Right, Left by an Atlanta MC by the name of Drama. This song was released in 1999. if you remember the song, I remember this song. I was like a freshman in high school when it came out, and it was dope because like the whole hook was like live, 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 ride, live. And you know, like it all kind of had this military theme with cadence and everything. So he states, and he spells out, Atlanta, that's where I stay until my dying day. Tight to death, that's me. Paper to the chaser. But he does it in a military style cadence. So it's all, you know, kind of, it's at the beat to if you were marching. And I think it's very cool now, especially, like I love the song when I was little, but I also happen to be a combat veteran. I've been in the military for almost 13 years now. And you know, it's dope because now, like, you can kind of have that going in your head if you're marching, doing drilling ceremonies. But yeah, so if you remember you coming up at that time, you probably remember the ATLANTA. That's where ISTAY until my D to the YINGDAY. I'm going. That was my jam. I loved it. Third song that we're going to talk about. Now this song, even though I said it wasn't for the kids, I'm gonna have to reach for the glass, get a little bit of player juice in my system, because I am talking about some of the premier player pimp rappers of the 90s, of the 2000s. None other than Chicago's Do or Die. And Do or Die had a song featuring Twista that came out in 1996 called Po Pimp. And I was in middle school at the time. Of course, I'm gonna just draw from my own personal experiences. I hope you were around my age, because maybe you would remember this stuff too. You know, hearing this song, and you know, like this is the time, the age where we're like feeling ourselves. You know, we hear these brothers getting on the mic and then just start talking like player stuff, like real player stuff. And you know, like I don't know about you, but I tried to use some of those inflections when I was talking to the young women ladies. It didn't necessarily work out all the time, but it worked out enough times to make me want to keep doing it until somebody told me to knock it off. And it's like, straight up, that's corny, don't do it. But I digress. 1996, Po Pimps, single off of the album. You know, they talk about pimpology. So, you know, if you remember the hook, like P-I-M-P-ology, but logically be learning these hoes biology, obviously. Well, and that's something that everybody also often remembers. However, they also did spelling in some of the verses. So one of the members of Do or Die says, pull up in the C-I-double-L with the A-C, you know, and gotta be full of that M-O-N-E, but why? You know, these are some of the lines that are mentioned where they still use that spelling as a part to kind of like drag out the words, but also it's a way to modify what they were saying to the cadence of the beat. So the beat is kind of slow, but it does have some like inflections of speed in there when you listen to how the drums and the hi-hats and stuff were put together. And that was one of the first times like I really heard somebody riding the beat. You know, that's something that we talk about in hip hop, where somebody's so in the pocket with the instrumental that their voice is an instrument in and of itself, and it just melds in. And it's a great phenomenon to see. And the last one that I'm going to talk about, this one you may or may not have heard of. It's from one of my favorite artists, and it's from a more recent song. And it's from Freeway's Blood Pressure. So Blood Pressure was a song released in 2018, and in particular I'm going to talk about Lil Wayne first. I grew up listening to Lil Wayne, the Hot Boys. I still love listening to Lil Wayne. I have my own personal opinions about how I feel about some of Lil Wayne's more recent music. So that's why I was happy when I heard this verse, because Wayne always shows up when there are MCs of his caliber, close to his caliber on the song. So Wayne will never disappoint on a feature when he is the feature of a top tier MC's project, and I consider Freeway a top tier MC. You know, not necessarily a god tier MC. Lil Wayne, you could argue, is a god tier MC, but you know, when I get my co-host here, like, look, oh yeah, that's not it. Look, you notice I got a little props and stuff. I got all this stuff happening over here. I got, you know, we're working on a new mic stand that's coming. You know, Black Friday and all of that stuff just dropped. So expect new hardware. And I even got one of these things. Why? Because it was on sale. Look, just wait, just you wait. Like, we're gonna be super official with the production on this. I just keep buying shit and surprising the folks over at ATP, and we're gonna have a game to see how much extra stuff that I can keep in the shot as I talk. They don't know it's a game yet, but we're gonna make that happen. Put in the comments, let me know if there's something else you want me to add to the ambiance of this place. So, Freeway's Blood Pressure, Lil Wayne's verse. He starts off the first few bars just spelling out. So, Holly Grove, that's 717, no L-I-E, I'm L-I-T. I'm the YMBKINGBLOODING. I'm O-U-T-H-E-R-E with my G-O-O-N-Z-Z-Z's. We T-O-O-D-E-E-Peep. I gave her a bitch 3 wishes. She wanted me, me, me. And then he just goes in. Like, he just proceeds to go in. And it was phenomenal. I mean, I heard it when I first heard it. I was like, oh my God, like, this is the Wayne that I've been missing. And it was fantastic. And I mean, it's a really dope song. Highly recommend you go to check that out. And you know, like I say, how he puts it together. So Holly Grove, that 717, you know, no L-I-E, I'm L-I-T, you know, like all of that, like making call signs to where he's from, you know, his gang affiliation, and also just like making it witty. As for 3 wishes, she wanted me, me, me. Like, I thought that was witty. I thought it was clever, and I love it when Lil Wayne is clever. But those are the 4 songs that I wanted to highlight today to talk about spelling in hip hop. What other tracks should we add to the spelling bee? I know there are a few more. I had some honorable mentions in the pocket. Let me know, because what we want to do later on, we're gonna have longer length episodes. I've got some friends of mine from here in Houston. I've got friends in Detroit that are going to be coming and joining the show, and we're going to have discussions, and we're going to talk about a lot of these topics that I bring up into the library in more detail. So, as always, if there's something that you want to hear us talk about in the chat, if there are additional songs, let me know. And also, please check out my brothers on Appraise The Phrase. Check out my brothers over at Underdog Sports, who without, we would not have all this possible. And then also, you know, check out Rap Geo. That's my side project with my maps. And I've been doing a lot of this, you know, getting this off the ground. But if you are a fan of geography, if you watch Carmen Sandiego growing up, or, you know, if you just want to know where your favorite rapper is from, check out Rap Geo. But that's it. I'm DJ Smithsonian. Peace.